we're going to use a simulator, and the simulator looks like this. And so what happens is this little dude here hangs a string with some washers on it, and gravity pulls those down and thereby exerts a force. And that force is transmitted to this little weight right here, which is hanging on the string. And so when you hit start, he swings the washer around above his head, and the force that's required to keep the washer moving in a circle is provided by this hanging weight. So what we are going to do is we are going to investigate how does the velocity of that little weight there, the weight that's moving around and around, how does that relate to the force that's pulling on it, okay? So what you're going to do is in your spreadsheet, it's going to tell you what to do. You're going to set up the moving mass to something between 50 and 100, and the radius somewhere between 1 and 2. So you can change the mass of the moving mass somewhere between 150 and 100. So that's fine, 107. It's random. So once you get it set, leave it. And remember, this is grams. You need to convert to kilograms. And then you'll need to change the length by clicking on this tape right here, somewhere between 100 and 200. So right about there is good. So here's 100. That's 1 meter. There's 1.1. So this is probably like 1.12 or 1.13 meters right there. Okay? You're going to set that up. And then what you're going to do is you are going to start this guy swinging it. Right now he has 7 washers on there. And you're going to let it go 10 times around. So it's going to go 1 time around, 2 times around, 3 times around. And when it's gone 10 times around, you're going to hit pause. And you're going to record the time it took. So if you know the radius of this and you know the time it took, you can figure out the velocity of that stopper. So the goal is record the radius, the mass that's moving, the number of washers, and the time for 10 revolutions. And you can use that information to calculate the velocity, how fast the washer was moving, and the force that was applied to it by the washers. So each washer is 10 grams of mass. So you'll need to put that in kilograms and then multiply it by G to find the weight. Okay? And that's the force that's making the making the weight move in a circle. Then you will change the number of washers. Do not change the radius or the moving mass in this first experiment. Just change the number of washers, and the way you do that is you click on the number of washers and it adds some more. Oops, you got to hit reset, I'm sorry. Once you're there now, you can change the number of washers. The radius will stay the same, the moving mass will stay the same, and now you can spin it again, and this time you've got to go faster in order to balance all the weight hanging down here. And do it 10 times and record that. And so what you're going to do is 10 different piles of washers. So see how many you can get, the maximum you can get, and then just keep collecting data until you have about 10 data points that vary over the range, somewhere between 0 and 35 washers it puts on there. Okay? And then you're going to look for once you calculate the velocity and you can figure out the force applied by the washers, you're going to look for a relationship here. Okay? Once you get that done, you can move on to part B, which is a little different. There's instructions there that tell you what to do.